Hey y'all, I didn't think I was going to take time to make a video today, but Pops has gone after some logs and Bela was insistent. I think he's getting ready to do his business. I'm going to have to train him that doing his business in the front yard is not the good idea. Of course, right now the front yard is pathetic. Pathetic. Pop's got a bunch of lumber cut for me yesterday to finish my wall in the grow room. So I'm going to work on that this morning. And Bella, come on, let's go this way. Come on, let's go. But this one, he is used to walking every morning with his papa. And he gets a little antsy if he doesn't have that chance. The other three are in the backyard right now. And boy, I wish I had all of that mulch beside my back porch where the dogs come in and out. It is a mud hole right now. I need to take the tractor. My concern is that I will knock the fence over. I'd rather Hugh take the tractor and dip me some in over the fence and I can spread it with rake. But anyway, Chelsea and I put in our vegetable order this week. And up here is where the vegetable garden goes. It's a nice garden up here. The only issue that I have with it is that it's very, very rocky. Hugh and I are talking about doing the same thing with this garden up here that we have with the flower garden. And that's running the rotavator, making the hills and leaving the hills permanently and just growing a cover crop on them when they're not in use. And hopefully, just work on a little sustainable farming. Get away from having to use anything really, because if you grow a cover crop and you just plant through after you've extinguished it, and you plant through the cover crop, you hear how out of breath I am. I had planned this winter on getting in shape so that this year wouldn't be such a hard year. It didn't happen. But anyway, when you extinguish the cover crop and then you just plant through it, that cover crop becomes your mulch and or your compost, and it will keep your soil moist. It will keep it cooler. It provides, all the little edibles for your microorganisms, and your microorganisms provide what your worms need, and so on and so forth. I don't know exactly the whole system, but I do know that it's much healthier, and in the long term, it sounds like a lot of work up front, but it becomes less and less work over time. And I don't know how far we're going to be coming up this way. You can see that garden's actually pretty good size. But if we are going to be growing vegetables to actually market alongside our flowers, I think we could probably increase the size of this garden over here somewhat. And it would be a good thing. Maybe adding about a third more this year and just see what comes of that. Next year we'll consider adding a little bit more if we need to. But it is a beautiful day. I'm out here. It's just slightly chilly. I'm thinking it's probably about 60 degrees right now. And it is supposed to be 70 in the heat of the day. Chelsea and I on... No, Bela. Don't eat the cow poo. Yuck. Chelsea and I are going to build the outside enclosure for the peahens this week. She works on Friday night, So she needs to rest on Friday before she goes in. And then Saturday, a little bit of sleep before she comes over. So I'm not sure whether we'll get started tomorrow or whether it will be Monday. Because Sunday, we are having a late birthday dinner for Aaron. So Aaron and Corey will be coming over. And Aaron's buddy Matthew that he grew up with. And Matthew's wife and their little girl. So we're looking forward to that. Come on, bud. What are you doing? What are you doing, bud? At some point this spring, Aaron's going to come over and we're going to mark the graves of our pups a little better and put up markers for them. You can see Nala's grave is easily marked. It's the easiest to see. And then right here next to Nala, there's been, I guess, mud and leaves and everything washed down. But this spot is Bodie's. And then you come on down here. And this spot is Mika's. And then right here, this spot is Maggie's. And so anyway, we want to make them all easily identifiable, well marked. And we're going to just hang a little sign on the fence above their little grave marker. It's beautiful up here, y'all. And it's a peaceful yet sad spot. I need to walk Noble up here. I think he needs that closure, and I know that might sound strange to some of you. Some of you understand that. Dogs understand death, but they need to know, they need to have closure. And all Noble knows is that Nala disappeared. And he'd been with her all of his life except for those first 8 months when she was in a different home. But I am going to walk him up here. Bela's a goof. I love this boy. He will be 12 in October. And he was Jared's pup. I think that's probably one of the reasons that Hugh is so very, very attached to him. You coming with me, bud? Come on, let's go. He's a good boy. But this field is our hay field. And so I can't take all of it over. I will take some of it over. Probably this whole corner down here. This is our property above that fence also. Up to that fence you can see up there and coming down. That belongs to the neighbor that you can just barely see the little roof of their house. But this fence is specifically to keep the cattle out of here when he was letting the hay grow. But this is a good garden. It just has a lot of rocks. Like I said, a lot of rocks. I don't know what he's up to over there. He's got his nose on something. He's found something to be interested in. But I'm excited about this growing season and a bit fearful at the same time, because we're going into uncharted territory as far as growing without any kind of weed suppression other than the cover crops and a little bit of hoeing. The hoeing I don't mind. Grew up hoeing. You did too. But yeah. But we just got to get these beds built. And right now, with it being, the end of the first week in February, it's wet. It rained last night. And spring is hard. Spring is hard to get your fields ready. I wish that we had shaped these beds last fall like we did our flower beds, because these may be hard to shape, hard to find a window, because you do not want to get on this ground when it is wet in the first degree. I mean, the ground really does need to be powder dry to run the rotavator and to hill all of this up. But hopefully it will be the last year of ever having to have a tractor on it. That's what scares me, y'all. Just knowing that I'm kissing the tractor goodbye when it comes to in the garden, because it does make it easier. And I'm not going to say that completely, because we may grow cover crops and we may till it in with rotavator from time to time. I hope not to have to do that, because I want to keep the ground well aerated, and I don't want to damage our soil microbes, and that's what tillage does. So I know that there is such a thing as a shallow tiller that basically just works the very top few inches of soil, works your plant debris basically down in without just tearing up what's going on deeper. And that's something that we may do a little investigation in and maybe consider that. Beta, what you doing, bud? He has to have some hound dog in him somewhere, because that boy, his mother is actually 100% golden retriever, and his daddy no one knows, but I've always said I highly suspect it was a black Newfie, because that's what he looks like to me. He looks like a black Newfie, and he has the coolest teeth. Here, bud, let me show him your teeth. Bella, come here. Bye-bye. Come here. He says, I'm just on a mission. I don't know what you're smelling. Come here. Come here. Now here. Let me show him your teeth. Up. Teeth up. Can you see the bottom teeth? He has the coolest underbite. He says, I don't appreciate that, not one little bit. That's funny. All right, y'all. Well, I'm glad I was able to get a little bitty short video in. And I hope y'all enjoyed a little walk with me and Bela. And I know it might seem a little gruesome to take you up to the pet cemetery, but I don't think it's gruesome. It's a beautiful spot. It's a peaceful spot. It's a spot filled with a whole lot of love. And I love this creature. He's funny. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you again this weekend if I have an opportunity. At least a short, just to show you what we're doing. It's a little crazy. Love you much. Bye-bye.